Okay, thank you very much for having us. So today I'm going to talk about our SharePoint hackathon entry, which we did a few months back, I think back in March, mental first aid agent. And I'm joined today.
Oh, hello.
Oh, Rashmi, you got muted somehow.
Yeah, you're muted.
Okay. So okay. Yeah. Okay. So
Muted again.
I'm doing that. I'm pressing on something. Okay, I'll just use my keyboard. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So I'm Rashmi Ugly, work consultant at Evernote and currently MVP in Enterprise Development. And these are my social handles. And if you want to reach out to me, do reach out on today's topic or anything that I normally post on LinkedIn mainly, and Blue Sky and GitHub.
You muted again. Sorry. Oh,
I'm
you're
not
back.
so sure what's.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my name is Lee. Now I'm muted. I swear someone's doing that on purpose. Yeah. So I'm a developer. I also sort of an MVP in development. And you can mainly follow me on Blue Sky. I put my code on GitHub, and sometimes I'm on LinkedIn, but not that often.
So the agenda, I'll just go quickly through what is the agent and followed by a demo with Lee and some of our thoughts about how to improve it further. So working like for amazing organizations, they've created like a wealth of information which is embedded in documents which sit in across various SharePoint libraries. And the way that we surface it is through links on SharePoint pages, which make it a little bit harder for user to find out any particular support that they might get from their organization, especially related to mental health. So there's a study which has been done in the UK. There's a QR code if you want to read more about the study. There's a culture of silence which still surrounds mental health, and 6 in 10 are uncomfortable discussing mental health. And if people feel more valued, they'll feel more open, and they will try to get the help needed, and all to make like a happier workplace. So the idea behind the agent was to provide like a virtual mental first aider, which can assist assist others like using like the natural language instructions. And the solution is very simple. It's just an agent grounded with data from a SharePoint library. And we're using like the system instructions like to guide the behavior. And one thing, mental health is a sensitive topic, and we'd like to apologize if inadvertently we use certain terms which might cause you upset. Yeah, and one thing I would like to highlight is like trying like to be that agent. It was a very fine line not to trigger the responsible AI issues, because as soon as you put some harmful terminology like within the agent, it get blocked. You can't use it. So we kind of come like to a halfway where we could still use the agent to provide the assistance required, like to the user, as Lee will show very soon. So now let's go on with the demo.
Okay, let me share my screen. I noticed on the AI image that was generated on that previous slide, someone had one leg, but let's not worry about that. Yeah, so this is the Mental First Aiders site. And as Rashmi said, we're not really, it's not the most technical solution here. It's more around inspiring or kind of showing you what's possible with an agent rather than kind of some deep technical prowess that we've decided to show today. So what we have is a site we've got some obviously sort of content on what the purpose of the site is and what it offers. We've added a hero card web part in here, so we can kind of just quickly show at a glance what sort of services we offer. And then also we have we've actually embedded the agent directly into the page, and the reason for this is that it's kind of hidden all the way up here if we want to use Copilot, which, you know, in my opinion, it should be actually this should be somewhere in the site rather than kind of in the SharePoint part, but that's, you know, that's me. And then finally, we've just added some extra sort of context, and, you know, you could potentially link these out to further parts of the site if we kind of expanded it out further. So how do we sort of access the first aider? We can type directly in here, or we can go via Copilot. And in here we have an agent. Now, as Reshmi said, we're not using the sort of built-in agent, which is this one. We've built our own, and the reason for that is that because it's quite a sensitive topic that we're talking about, we were constantly hitting responsible AI when we were asking, you know, for help effectively. So by creating our own with our own instructions, and we kind of not necessarily bypassed it, but it allows us to actually tackle sensitive topics rather than everything being blocked like it was previously. So so I've got a couple of, obviously we've got some conversation starters in here, but I've got a couple that I'm going to just copy and paste to speed it up. Now, one thing to bear in mind, I think Reshmi's already said, obviously this is demonstration purposes. We're not offering any advice or anything that does come up. It's purely, you know, just for the demo. Don't take it as advice or anything. So just want to caveat that. And even in the agent, we also say, obviously, you know, if you're having serious thoughts, then you need to obviously speak to someone directly. Don't use this tool. And this isn't offering any advice directly. It's more pointing you in the right direction, or leading you towards some help that would actually obviously assist you. So what we have is an agent. So if I'm just going to put in a prompt here. So I don't have a gambling addiction, but for purposes of the demo, we're going to say I do. And now, hopefully, it's going to find something. Yep. Okay, cool. So I have a gambling addiction. Can I help? Who can I talk to? And what it's done is it's gone through and it's found people that either have had a similar scenario, or they've been trained in a particular way to help people through that. And what happens is these are people, you know, in this sort of fictitious organization that we've created, that we can then reach out to and speak to them. And obviously we can, you know, say, oh, oh, how do I contact so and so? And obviously it might bring back their email address and everything like that. The second part is obviously we've also grounded some sort of people that you can call externally. So people obviously like Samaritans. This is obviously a UK-centric thing, but the idea here is that it allows people to sort of get all the information in a single place. And then also we've provided some links to some content that you can go and read on external websites. Now, these are all stored inside Word documents inside the site. I'm just going to show one more just to kind of continue the conversation on around stress. And what it allows you to do is obviously go and talk about different topics, and also actually, if this works properly, not just say, oh, go speak to these people, but it actually also provides some help on things you can try. Like I say, it's not direct medical advice. It's more just, you know, make sure, taking regular breaks, or make sure you're getting enough sleep, those sort of things. But then obviously, second part is then reaching out to people within your organization, and these people are obviously listed in a document. So that's kind of just the agent in a nutshell. As far as how it is sort of put together, we have a load of documents that we've generated. Largely, I think some of them we maybe have done by hand, but the majority of them have kind of we've kind of made up, really, I guess. And so, for example, the mental first aiders, obviously these aren't real people. These are just people that we've have been trained within this organization and can offer potentially advice, or at least help them along the sort of path to getting help from external party. So how does that work sort of from an agent point of view? So obviously we've got these documents. We go back to the agent and edit the agent. In here you'll see that it's a pretty straightforward process. Obviously we've got a very basic description of what the purpose of the agent is. It's a mental health first aider, and it's based on the content that we've selected. And in this case, we've just set the whole site because all the content in the site is helpful and does provide context. Obviously, you could scope that down if you wanted, but for now, that works quite well. And then from a behavior point of view, obviously what we're trying to, very important, obviously the welcome message needs to include, this isn't direct medical advice. You obviously, speak to a medical professional, if you need to. And then from an instructions point of view, we've kind of outlined every single step that we want to do. And this, took a very long time to get it right, so that it was not triggering responsible AI, but was able to provide help to or resources, I guess, to the individual that's obviously asking for help. So it's things like making sure we're not kind of prescribing this is what you need to do, or that isn't a problem. You don't need to worry about this. And it was making sure everything we offer, it's like, well, talk to someone. It's not just talk to someone. It's talk to these people or call these helplines, and not to kind of leave people sort of hanging, I guess. And obviously, what we're trying to do here is not ask for names, not ask for any more detail on the scenario. So don't say, oh, tell me more. It's more, okay, cool. I don't really need to know the specifics, but if you speak to this person, they might be able to help you. And I think that's it from a demo perspective, Reshmi. So I'm going to pass back to you.
Thank you very much. I think one of the things that we share my screen. One of the things that we really wanted to do is to be able to make that SharePoint agent a little bit more visible across the page, so that like some of the websites where you go, you have like a floating speech bubbles which kind of scroll up and down wherever you are, like in context of a page. And I've seen like some of the SharePoint hackathon entries. Some of them try to explore different ways of embedding Copilot within the SharePoint page using SPFX. Hopefully, they will come onto that call to present the solution at some point. So that was kind of the idea, but we didn't really spend too much time. But I saw some of the entries which are amazing, and I thought or it could be a future improvement, to make a SharePoint agent better in the future within the platform. And the other one was about the responsible AI settings. The only way was to use the Azure AI Foundry agent, to be use a custom engine so that you can tailor these topics around harm, self-harm, responsible AI, so that it makes it so it doesn't get triggered, these responsible AI get triggered. But that will be something in the future. And the other thing I would like to mention is currently the SharePoint agent is only for retrieval. But again, now that you can publish a Copilot Studio agent into SharePoint, that kind of opens up a lot of possibilities, including it to do certain actions. For example, as Lee showed, if you're presented with a list of first mental health first aiders, you can potentially book an appointment with one of them. Could be one of the action, and the other one could be if the end user wants to send the query or book an appointment. We could do it by email, so it's obviously it's kind of book an appointment in the background. So it's just things which can be improved. And to finish off, I would say, currently, most workplaces are focusing mainly on productivity, resilience, efficiency. But I would say it's still important, like to make space like for vulnerability and healing, and one thing like to remember just to look to each other and make sure like they are reaching out for support if there's a need. That's all from me.